ITRBoxing. You heard it here first. Pretty cool videos. And I heard they're also in HD. ITRBoxing.com.
So if I don't, so if I feel bored, like if I feel bored, I'll get out of the house and come in the garage and hit a bag, and then I'll hit the bag.
Yeah, I'm raising both my sons, Sterling Stokes, who's 10, and my baby son Diezyl Stokes, who's 8. Is the best job. Not even say best job, man. I love it, man. I was raised without my dad in my life, and I can't see how somebody would never want to do this, man. I mean, this is the closest that I can be with them, teaching them, because it's two totally different things. Being a coach and being a dad, and they know exactly when we inside the gym or in any gym or any fight, it's dad. It's coach. But after that, it's gonna be dad. So I feel like both of them have great potential. I don't want to even say them being world champions, because that's I will never say that. But just being great citizens within boxing, if I can go ahead and say that. Just knowing and loving the sport, man, and respecting the sport.
We have a blended family, so we have Attiyana and Diezyl are my biological children. Sterling is my bonus son. Patty is Sterling's mom. So we all have to work together as a team to make this happen. My husband is the technical trainer. He is the coach, the teacher. I am the one that keeps things in order and keeps things moving, keep communication going, always being in the know, and really just, as I'm understanding this process, sharing my understanding of this process. And the kids, my daughter, first and foremost, she's the oldest. She is an artist. She loves to draw, but she is an amazing, and I mean amazing, support to her brothers. Everything that they do, she does. We're up at 5 o'clock, she's up at 5 o'clock. They're just drinking water before weigh-ins, she's just drinking water before weigh-ins. Sterling and Diezyl, they're the fighters. And they really have a great chemistry together when they work together, but also they have a lot of support from all of us. And so it's a huge job. One of the things that we experience and we see is that the fighter is only as successful as their team, and they're only as strong as their team. And if their team is weak, if their team has holes, if someone in their team doesn't believe in what they're doing or doesn't take it seriously, it affects the fighter, it affects the entire team. So we're very fortunate that we have a strong team.
My family they're a big part of my boxing career, because my dad is my training coach, my mom is a conditioning coach, and my brother and sister are in there too.
Since I was little, and boxing's my job. Like, I love boxing, and it just like, if I get bored, like, I do boxing. And I love boxing because I've been doing it since I was little, and it's a thing that I love to do. It's great for me.
I started boxing because I came back from football, and I wanted to take a break from football, so I started living with my dad for a year now, and I asked my dad if I could do boxing.
Started in boxing in 1987 in upstate New York, where I'm originally from, Rochester, New York. And a friend of mine, Charles Cruz, who's in my homeroom in junior high school, he was like a celebrity throughout my city and my area. So I always would follow him. He would always come back. He'd fight in Canada. He would fight all over the country, and he went to national tournaments. So, make a long story short, I thought I was gonna be a basketball player. I thought I was gonna be big like LeBron one day. As you can see, it never happened. That's why I'm here talking to you, which I love though. So, getting back to the story, what happened, I saw him one day, and he saw a friend of mine's, and he's like, yo, Henry Higdon is going to the boxing gym. And Henry was like probably one of the weakest guys. Nothing against you, my man, but yo, he's one of the weakest guys. So, making a long story short, I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And I never looked back, man. I went to the gym, and I love boxing.
So when it comes to cooking, I'll pre-cook my chicken, I'll pre-cook fish, whatever it is that they're gonna eat on the road, I pre-cook that and I pack it in a cooler. I make sure that their snacks are good. I make sure that they're eating at least 5 times a day, 3 good meals, 2 snacks, their water is on point. So we had an SUV and half of that SUV was food, just food to get them through, because I didn't want to stop and them eating, eating random things from the convenience store or having to go out to, to fast food throughout the time. But when we got there, we were under the impression that we had a suite, because I like to have a kitchen and stove in our room. But when we got there, it was renovated, but we didn't even have a microwave. So we had just a little refrigerator. So the next day I had to go get my copper chef skillet, and everything that I brought, I cooked. So I was in the hotel room, no stove, barely a big enough refrigerator, and they were eating, they had like they had tacos, they had chicken, they had fish, they had, shrimp, they had everything that I had brought, because I wanted to make sure that they don't lose on the scale, that when they get to weigh-ins, they feel good, they feel strong, they're not stressed, coach is not stressed, I'm not stressed, we just have a good experience all the way around. So that was something that was super important, and it was exhausting, but it was much better, and it felt better to be exhausted in that way than be exhausted because they need to lose 2 ounces or 4 ounces, as so many fighters needed to do that day.
I've learned that boxing it's disciplined. You have to be disciplined, and you have to have a script. It's a lifestyle. So it goes, like, if you eat a lot of junk, it goes with you in the ring and you get hurt.
It's a process, and it's an adventure. We just got to coming back from Dallas, Texas, and that was a great trip, but it was a long trip. But the process was long because the kids can understand what it takes. Getting up, staying dedicated, eating right, being somewhere on time. For example, going to bed on time. So that's one thing I saw, that they grew a lot. Sterling and Diezyl, and as well as my wife, because it's just coming. Find out what time the brackets are going to be posted. You know how that is, and then Sterling's mom, how she came over there and she supported. So it's all together, and even my daughter's been there 100% of the time. So it is definitely a family experience, man.
All 4 of my fights were easy, but the one in Dallas, Texas, the tournament, it was hard, it was challenging. Like kids in Texas, Daddy told me to come forward at you, but I still won.
I won my first title at the Dallas, Texas tournament. It was really big. I started getting nervous, and it was my first fight too. And it was a really big event. There was 3 rings, so yeah.
And what's nice about it is it's a family environment. It truly is a family environment. This is a family thing. We're all doing this. But I have learned that nothing in boxing is what it is until it is what it is. So boxing, it's not like football, it's not like basketball. There's not a set schedule that everything it's set to go. It's not seasonal. Boxing is a lifestyle, and you have to have the mindset to be able to adjust in the lifestyle. So when it comes to fights, when it comes to the disappointment of not being able to fight, when it comes to us having young children, they're growing, so things are constantly changing. So you have to be ready for all the adjustments, for all the things that you're gonna have to kind of maneuver around in order to have a good experience in boxing.
I feel like boxing chose me. I feel like, it was something that I never thought about, but everything I did within it, the people that I've met, places I've been, it really has saved my life. It took me from, poverty-stricken Rochester, New York, into the Marine Corps, me traveling the world, me fighting Olympic trials, things of that nature, and then just coming here in California. I'm a kid that wasn't even supposed to make it, man. I'm living in California. My boys looking at me like I really made it, because some of those guys are dead or in prison or, fell victim to the street. So to answer your question, I feel like probably in 2000 and 11, that's when I really knew that, you know, this is something that I really like.
So, outside of the technical training, everything. The planning, making sure the trips go okay, making sure their nutrition is good, making sure they're, I'm conditioning them, and I do a lot of functional conditioning and functional training, strength training with them. Everything is around them being able to go their 1 minute rounds times 3, and have energy and feel good at the end and get stronger as the rounds go on. So my role, the role that I really, really enjoy, is the conditioning and strength training.
I would say whether they were in boxing, still boxing, or outside, just still being a part of it. You know what? I think the most important thing, the biggest thing would be seeing them still involved, but with people that they know that they've met along the way, because you have friends here for a lifetime, man, for a lifetime.
I like it. I like boxing so much is because it's you have to think a lot. It's a mental sport.
It's just I love boxing. Like boxing motivates me. Like I love boxing.